Okay, cool. All right. It's good. We only have about less than 10 people. So we can have open mic and you guys can talk about what you've been struggling with, what you need help with. I'll cover a couple of trades as well, that what should have been taken, what should have not been taken. Okay, so from today, does anyone want to go first before I cover the trade? Uh, okay. All right then. So today, well, actually, we need Wix as well. So let's put Wix here for the time being. We'll switch to two screens in the layout. And the time was around 10. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm using this new Mac app. Just getting used to it. It's my first time using it. Oh shit. Oh, for fuck's sakes. It is reducing the size or no? Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. So today, I think pre-market there was a bearish move. This bearish impulse here. This one right here. Okay. I drew this green trend line after, like just now. It wasn't there in the morning. Um, so what was happening was, if you notice, around this area, our first candle in the morning, I think I was watching 15 minutes at the time, was this one. This was the first candle, okay? Then price came down to the zone. It was testing it. So this zone here, I'm talking about the 41, 10, 12 zone, this area. I'll highlight it. And I saw a lot of wicks at the bottom. So I'm like, this is a sign of exhaustion of the move that's actually happening. So the impulsive bearish move that's coming down, it's taking a break here, right? And I was looking for a calls entry here. So I was watching wicks around the open time. So you can say, so wicks was coming up against the 1820 area, and I was just waiting for it to see some sort of rejection. The first rejection that happened was on this candle at 1010. I then switched to 5 minutes. I'm gonna do exactly what it did. So I switched to 5 minutes, and I was on my actually phone as well, right? So I see this base forming. You guys can tell this is a base. How many people understand that this is a base? Let's cover this first right now, because that is the first identification of the trade that we need to understand why we think this is a base. How many people don't understand that this is a base? Let's cover that. Everyone knows this is a base. I don't need to cover it. If you don't know, so what you have to do is, let's compare this bottom with other in the on the left hand side. Okay. So look at this one here. Is this a base? I don't think it's such a strong base as this one. Like, I wouldn't be comfortable buying calls directly, just like on a bounce of a trend line like that, right? This is a base. This is a very good base as well. Right on the zone as well, right? Okay, these things are sort of bases as well, but it's consolidating a lot here, right? So when I saw that, right, so this basically gave me an indication that the impulsive bearish move has exhausted. So I think my entry was, to be exact, let me double check the timestamp. I think it's gonna be the 10. Let me double check the timestamp because I don't want to give you wrong information. 10:40. Yeah, so this was the entry. So I actually would have entered earlier as well. So let's say I was watching the market around 10 o'clock and I'm waiting for either the price, because everyone was waiting at this time, right? So I'll just switch to 15 minutes. Right? So around this area, everyone's waiting. So what would have happened if the bearish impulse wanted to continue? We would have seen, like a candle close below the zone and then a retest, right? That's how we trade. And at the same time, we wanted wicks to go above 1820. If you notice my comments in the morning, that's what I said. We wanted wicks to go above 1820 and hold the area, hold above 1820, right? But that did not happen. What was happening at 1040? Yeah, this is strong rejection here. See that? So wicks actually came up, made a high, made a lower high, strong rejection, and at the same time, we actually saw a bounce of the zone. The trend line wasn't there, so I'll hide it. Like trend line, I just added now. I was doing some analysis. So I entered on the 5 minutes over here, and I took I didn't wait for the zone. I took profits on the first. Maybe even I took profits here. I took profits at 10:48 is what my timestamp says. So I took profit at the end of this candle right here because it was coming up against this previous lower high. Was anyone able to catch this today? The call. Have you guys, before I ask that question, have you seen my call video? Like what it talks about, how to play the call? You have not seen it. So you should watch the call video. It's on YouTube. So okay, look at this. I'm gonna point it out for you, okay? I'll mark you with points. So point number 1, impulsive bearish move exhausted or exhaustion. Holy shit, I'm too tired to be spelling correctly right now. Exhaustion. Okay. And so that's point number 1. Strong base on top of zone. VIX bearish candle, not able to close above 1820. Yeah, we understand now. So bearish move that happened, it's forming a base, showing signs of exhaustion. VIX was not able to go above 1820, started making a lower high, then it rejected hard, and I entered calls here, right? This ended up going to the zone. And then if you notice, actually, this typically happens a lot when, so if you notice, now I didn't enter this, but I'm just going to show you still. What you can also look out for is this. Even straight on the 5 minute. So there was a bearish impulse, right? This is a previous lower high, so we closed above it, right? And then when the move came back down to test the zone again, it formed a higher low, right? It formed a higher low. So here what you can do is you can actually, so the first candle, you'll probably see the bounce on the 5 minute. On the second candle, see a bounce, and then you wait for a pullback, like how this candle pulled back. And you enter calls in this one, and you watch VIX at 155. Let's see what VIX was doing. At 140, and this is the 155 candle. So VIX is rejecting as well. Perfect. Does this make sense? So candle comes, bounces off the zone. This candle bounces above, showing that we're forming a higher low. Then you wait for next candle to actually do a pullback. So from here, pullback, you're watching Wix, Wix is rejecting, you got another confirmation trend recall. So this is not really a A plus setup, you know, I would call it like a B setup. But this one was like a really good setup. So that was like one trade I took today. I was also looking to take calls in and close to the close. So around, yeah. So what I saw was this. I was on the 15. So I saw this candle at 2:30 p.m. EST. You know, getting above and trying to close above. I was waiting for the next candle, so I saw this candle and then this 3 o'clock candle. They're still bouncing off the zone, right? But I didn't see a close above the zone, right? Like a really strong bullish move. I didn't see that. And also at 2:45 and 3 o'clock, Wix started to like bounce a little. So I think it was this one, 240 started bouncing, came back down. So it's like it's going sideways, right? When I say that, I want you to understand it, so I'm gonna hide it. Right? So this is what Wix was doing, right? I wanted Wix to reject and I wanted SPX to actually close above it so I could take an entry. Now I'll switch to 5 minutes. So I think it's this one, yeah. So this candle here, I didn't see any close. This is happening after hours now, this action, right? I didn't see any close above this zone here, and I didn't see like a strong Wix projection to enter calls, so I did not enter any calls over here, right? I actually was then, because I think I posted in the chat as well that because it's not able to close above, maybe we can get like a rejection of this zone and go down. And I was watching for Wix to actually be bullish and get above this 17 area. Then I would have taken puts. But because Wix was like going sideways, like that, there was no move here. You can call it another form of exhaustion here, basically. Price is just going sideways, right? So the purpose of me talking about this trade is that there was no trade here. So I think what's happening in the chat is in the Discord server, people are getting frustrated at times and they're just like trading for the sake of it. So what I'm trying to say is only take A plus setups. Don't try to trade every single direction. So even if I try to do this, let's say I took calls here, took it to the zone, and then now I'm looking for puts again, and then I'm looking for calls again. It's just not humanly possible. I'm not a robot, right? I can't do that. I can't take like trade 1, trade 2, trade 3. I don't know all these moves that are gonna happen. Because why? Because my thought process is this. This is how my brain works. I'll show you. Okay. So let's go to 4 hours. So every morning I'll recommend this routine. Okay. I'll move this out. So go to 4 hours in the morning. Okay, let's say let's plan for tomorrow now, okay? Because what's happened today's happened. Now, what are we right now? Are we bullish or bearish? Everyone need some participation right now. Is the 4 hour chart bullish or bearish? Even I don't know. I have to figure it out. So I need to see some engagement in the chat, please. Do some analysis and think, are we bullish or bearish? And do that in the morning. So we made a high here, lower high, lower low. The last lower high was this one. Even if it's ranging, you still need to know whether the trend is bullish or bearish. So this was the lower high on May 4th, 4099. On 4 hour, we closed above it. Yeah. And then since then, we have a higher low, a higher high, and we have a higher low. We formed a higher high above this one, right? So now this is my high and this is my low. 4110 is a strong level. That's why I've been talking about it since morning. This 4110 approximately is a strong level. So this is the low and the high is 4150 approximately. Since Wednesday, which was yesterday, we have not closed above and we have not closed down, right? So we're stuck in between 4150 and 4110, and hence you can call it a sideways, right? So I would, the 4 hour in my opinion technically is still bullish. Because why? Because we closed above this lower high. I know you're looking for trend direction. That will actually be really strongly bullish above 4180. I know you're looking at that, right? But the way I just analyzed it, because we have to day trade, I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so it's clear. Okay, so we formed a higher high here at the top. Everyone's clear we were bullish back then, right? When did we turn bearish? Let's indicate that first. What is the low in this move? This is the low at 4110. This is the level here. Agreed so far with me? This level here is the previous higher low. Yeah, as soon as we close below this level, we become what? Bearish. Okay, so when this candle closes below this low on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., whenever this candle closes, sorry, this candle closes like at 12:59 p.m. Okay, so that's when we became bearish, right? And that's done and dusted there. What happens after that? Now to become, so I'm gonna draw it. So we became bearish here. We formed a what after that? What is this, guys? I want you to do this every morning at 9 a.m. please. This will help your trading a lot. What is this now? Lower high, higher high, lower low. What is this? What is this point? Lower high. Yeah? Should we have shorted this lower high? So if you, I'll go deep down after. But now after that, we went all, you can count the wick if you wanted to. Let's count the wick. What happened here again? Lower high. Correct? Agreed? Lower high at 4098, then a lower low again. Now, after this move, this is our lower high now. Let's actually write it down so we don't forget. This is our lower high. And this is our lower low. 4048 approximately. 4098 is a lower high, and this is 4048 is our lower low. Now, I'm still on the 4 hours. And what happens afterwards? So on, again, Friday, May 5th, so last Friday, we closed above this lower high. So are we bullish now or bearish in this over here? Is this bullish move or bearish move? Is this a bullish candle? Are these two candles bullish or bearish? Both. Okay, so we became bullish again on 4 hours, right? And then since then we've been making we made a higher high here, higher low, and then what happened after was, okay, so let's say this is the higher low, lowest point, and then we made another high. When I'm looking for highs, I'm actually looking for body closes. Okay, now at 4150 we closed above here, we're still bullish, and this is the low. So I am not bearish on the 4 hour. We're sticking to the time frame, being very technical. I'm not bearish until we have a candle close below 4110. Okay, just being technical. Now 1 hour might have a different picture. If you do this daily, I promise you, like, charts and trading will become so simple. Okay, now let's do 1 hour. Okay, so let's start around, I think this is the same peak. So I'm gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna have more opportunities here to have lower highs and lower lows. Okay, now same thing here. This is the lower high. We closed above, either you can call, so I'm gonna go deep into it because I need to see more candles. Higher high, higher low. See that? This is higher than that. That means it's a higher low. So this is a bullish move. This happens after hours, but you could have actually bought calls here, you know, to make some money. It happened after hours though. But then I'm skipping all that, skipping all that. This is my next higher high. Why? Because we have a body close above here. I know I could have called that a higher high too, but I want to see where the move actually stops happening and we have a abrupt move in the opposite direction. Because I need next higher low. Everyone follow so far? Higher low, high high. Okay. So if this is my, on the 1 hour, if this is my higher low and this is my higher high. Okay, so I'm gonna delete all these. So I'm now in between this level, 4140 and 4110, these two levels. If I close above, I'm bullish. If I close below 4110, I'm bearish. Simple. We close above, we're bullish. It's like a, you know, when the difference is like a couple of points. Yeah, I don't really call that a close. So we're ranging on the 1 hour. We're still in that range. Let me draw that big box for you. We have not actually established a trend since this happened here, but let's, you know. So we're still in this price action since last Friday. So Sarwan, it's not about which time frame. It's about looking at all time frames and making a decision whether the move today or tomorrow or this week is gonna be bullish or bearish, right? It's not, you can't, this is not to develop your bias, but I do 4 hour and 1 hour to see what's happening. So for example, now I'm saying 4 hour is still bullish until I close below 4110. That is my line in the sand for me. You follow? 1 hour is the same thing. So what I'm saying now, I'll write it down, is 4 hour needs to, see how every time every morning when I come and I'm like, hey, if you close below 4110, I'm gonna get ready to take puts. So 4 hour needs to close below 4110 to become bearish, in my opinion. 1 hour, same thing. Yeah, because when we made this high, we did not close above it. You guys follow? When we made this high, right, we did not close above it. We actually came back down and we tested the 4110 area. Oh no, there's a huge wick here. And then it tried to close above again early pre-market today, and it wasn't able to. And then it tested pre-market and during the market at 4110, still not able. So what does that tell us? This 4110 is a goddamn strong fucking level, right? Bulls are not giving up 4110. You can call it 4110, you can call it 4105, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm always approximate with the numbers, right? And same thing, bears are not letting bulls run away with this 4150 level, right? So we're stuck in a range. So how do you trade this now? So how do we trade this now is, because we don't have a clear bull or a bear trend for the past 2 days, right? So we're gonna switch to support demand. Is that what you mean, Sarwan? Okay. So now we switch this middle one to, sorry, I was just playing with some zones. I'm gonna get rid of the extra zones. And I need to change this to only layout. And change this to 15 minutes. Okay, before I do that, let's see what's the trend in 15 now. Okay. If you're wondering like how far back do you go, you want to go up to where you can see the candles clearly, right? This is clearly a higher high, you know, so we can start from here. What is the low of this move? Here. We close below it, so we were bearish at this point. What is the lower high? Here. So once we close above it, we're bullish. Simple? Am I making sense? Only one person saying yes. 15, 20 people in here. Who has not followed the 30 minutes we've been talking? Let's help that person right now. Let's help the person who's not following. Okay, VS and Arva, you're gonna have to watch the recording. This is being recorded. Anyone else who's been listening to me for 20-25 minutes and has not understood what I've talked about, because you need to understand this to trade tomorrow morning at 9:30 before I talk about execution. Okay, awesome. So everyone understood what I talked about. Okay, good. So now we know how to identify a trend. Now let's test your knowledge. When we were coming this morning, I'm gonna mark the candle at 9:30. This is the 9:30 candle. Okay, and I'm gonna hide the price action of today, and this is what you have. So this is your first candle, right? So coming into this morning, first of all, don't ever have a bias, but what is the trend saying to you? Are you on the 15 minutes? Let's have the 1 hour too, so that we can make an informed decision and no guesswork. Okay, this is the market before open today. Not exactly. This is the market before open today. Okay, what are you doing with this market? Let's talk about that first. Is this bullish, bearish, sideways? Like, what's going on? What's your plan? If I didn't give you a plan, what is your plan? What are you looking for? I'm gonna hide the EMA because we're strictly talking price action. Okay, I'm gonna let a couple of people talk here. So Ghost is saying lower high, Ant20 saying lower low, a lower low is being formed, he's right. JB23 is saying retest and reject zone. I guess this one he's talking about. Okay, and then let's put Wix in the middle here. Let's look at the opening candle. Okay. Wait for a retest of the zone on 15. So Davrin, you're looking for this move, right? Davrin is looking for this move. Am I right, Davrin? Cool. Okay, yeah, nothing wrong with that. So Davrin, would you combine that with Wix though? You want what should happen with Wix? So let me show you the Wix candle of the morning. So Wix candle 9:30. So when market opens, we're at this 9:25 candle. Okay, I'm gonna show you a couple of candles. So let's hide the rest of the jazz so we don't get confused. Okay, this is your Wix, and I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, so Wix is coming up against the strong area of 1820. So there's a high chance that it might reject here. Might, right? So I woke up and I saw these moves that price is rejecting 41.50 from Wednesday. It's rejecting again from 41.50, made a lower high. It's below this zone now, 41.30, right? So I actually want, if I'm bearish, right? Lower low, lower high. Yeah, we are bearish on the 15. So I want, just like Devin said, I want price to reject here, 41.30 area, and I want Wix to go above 1820 to take puts. I'm gonna draw it out for you. My plan would be this, like the perfect plan. Like that's the trade I want market to give it to me. The A+ setup I'm looking for today, it should have been this. That would have been my plan, or should have been my plan. I want price to come up here, reject, because we're making lower highs and lower lows. And I want VIX to go above 1820 because it's so close to this area. There's a risk it might reject, right? And also I look at other factors too, like what's NASDAQ doing? What are the tech stocks doing, right? So I want them to be like flat or bearish. I want VIX to be bullish. I want SPX to give me like an entry, even if it doesn't go all the way to the zone, even if it does something like this, you know. So that would have been my plan, right? What do you guys think of that plan? Is it a solid plan without knowing what's going to happen? Like, I don't know. At this point, we're stopped, right? So we don't know what's going to happen in the market. Does it sound like a good plan? So tomorrow morning, when you open up your laptops or phones, whatever, have a plan like this. Like, this is my plan. And if the plan's not there, you don't take a trade. That means you don't enter at 9:30, you don't enter at 9:45 maybe. So what happens is, when I have a plan and it does not come into fruition, I don't take a trade. Agreed? Can we all agree on that? That if you have a plan and SPX and VIX and the market doesn't actually respond to that plan, you don't fucking take a trade. Agreed? So that plan did not happen. We all know what happened today. So if you can do this much for yourself, it'll basically instill patience in you. Okay, I used to do, when we started this server about 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, I used to do this every day actually, or every other day. I think I'm gonna have to start doing this daily or every other day to instill confidence. I see a lot of low confidence this week. Okay, now let's play this now. I'm gonna play it at normal speed. Okay, so I'm still going in with this plan, right? So let's go into the market now. Let's see what the market has for us. So market is doing this now. So what's Jazzy looking for? I'm like, oh, that's good. Below my zone, just like a normal human being. I'm like, yeah, there you go. I want price to come up, retest here, and then down. I'm gonna enter puts here. Okay, and that's how I think. I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna come back here, and then this is at 9:45. Wix is 9:55. Perfect. I want Wix not to reject here. I want Wix to like fucking push here. Okay. So let's play Wix too. What the fuck? Wix rejected. Puts cancelled. Everyone agreed? Puts cancelled when this happens, right? How many people understand this? When this happens, puts cancelled. There you go. Why? Because now let's see what happens on left hand side. Oh, this is going. Oh, what the fuck? Right? So you're like, okay, 3 fucking wicks at the bottom. Wix doesn't want to go up. Wix rejected. Like, what the fuck's going on? Right? And here I'm like, okay, I need an entry here. So I'm gonna go. Okay, let's switch to 5 minutes. Right? So you're now puts plan cancelled. So let's delete the puts plan. Okay. Let's switch the middle one to 15. This is literally how I do it. Okay. When my, this is exactly how I do it. 1 second, I'll answer questions in a second. Let me finish the trade. Okay, so this is what's happening here. I'm like, okay, exhaust and exhaustion, too many wicks at the bottom, wicks rejected. Maybe we need to enter calls. And I do take the entry at 1040. I already covered the trade. I don't need to do that. But this is how my brain works. This is how my thought process works. Okay, let me answer that question. Would you do a bounce when Wix rejects? What does that mean, VSNRY? Would you do a bounce when Wix rejects? Would you enter on a bounce when Wix rejects? A call. Okay. Yeah, so there's 2 types of entries here. Okay. So it depends on your risk tolerance. So I'm gonna actually cover the whole thing today. Why do I enter so early, right? Why? Because I'm greedy and I'm cautious. Let me show you how. So what I do is I tell my mind that this is my stop loss. If price does a really bearish impulse and tries to close below this line, I'm gonna get the hell out. Whatever losses I make, I'm gonna get out. Okay, and I'm looking for a strong bounce of the zone now. Strong bounce. Typically, what a strong bounce would look like is it'll have a wick at the bottom. So now I'm talking about candle formation. Okay, it'll have a wick at the bottom and it'll be a candle that will actually break out of this base. Broken skull for me personally, yes. But I don't put hard stop losses, so sometimes I do lose 25-30% instead of the standard 15-20%, right? So in trading, any guru or any teacher that you follow, you will never have the same risk tolerance as him, because I've actually developed this system for myself, knowing that if I lose 30% on trade, I'm fine. I can make another 100% or 150% and so on, or a 50% on trade, and I'll recover that loss, right? But your account size and your risk tolerance is different than mine, right? So you have to go according to that. So now here, I'm looking for a wick at the bottom. Okay, and there you go. You have this price coming back, pull back. So when you're looking for, you saw a base. Okay, let me talk about this too. When you see a base and you're looking for calls entry now while Wix is rejecting, this is actually a really bullish sign. You had a pullback and that formed a higher low. That's actually a good fucking sign, right? I think I enter on the next candle. I enter on this candle. I just moved too fast, but I enter here. And I was talking about it. That I want to see a wick at the bottom, right? I could have entered here too, right? This candle is an indecision candle. So let's say if I entered at 10:30, indecision candle, nothing to worry about right now. Why? Because my stop loss is here. I'm so close to the bottom that I'm probably, if I'm wrong, let's say price says fuck you, Jazzy, I'm actually gonna do this, right? So when this move is happening, first I'm gonna measure what kind of move that is. Is it a strong move? Does it have volume behind it? So I get the hell out when I see that. But when this move is happening, so let's say I entered here. I'm not gonna enter there, but let's just say I entered there because it's like below the zone sort of. And the perfect entry would have been this actually. I entered a little early than the perfect entry. Okay. Let's say I entered here. Now price went up. I'm like, yeah, that's good. And then it came back down, red candle. Should I be worried? I should be cautious, not worried. Why? Because it's still above my entry, right? So my stop loss now is like how I drew before, same thing. If price is coming back down, I want price to actually close below and that. So anything we're talking about right now, any of the strategies, if you have news coming, data coming, all of this will fail. Why? Because they're not going to respect our zones or lines or fucking nothing. They're not going to respect Wix. They're not going to respect SPX, nothing. For example, that move that happened with, what's that called? CPI, it's just going to go down, right? So point is stop loss is below this line here. Okay, so I wanted to cover the trade. We covered how I identify trends, and I'm just gonna put you on hold for a quick second. 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Okay, that was it. Okay, so we covered trend identification, which trade to take, which trade not to take. Does anyone want to talk about their trade, what they struggled with? We talked about why we shouldn't take this trade here, because we're waiting for a close above and we were waiting for a confirmation from Wix. Does anyone have a trade that they struggled with this week? They want to bring it up? No shame in doing that. Okay, we can talk about my trade. 1 second. Okay, someone's typing. But I don't remember the exact levels, but yesterday morning. This is 5 minutes. Okay, so this level was updated after. I think I had a level here and I had a level like here. Okay, so on 1 second, I'll get to it. So yeah, let's talk about this trade here. I think we entered at like 931 or something. Okay, and it made this, right? It went up and it did not touch the zone. So we're talking about a failed setup, right? So why did I enter here? Because let's see what the VIX was doing. I think here at this point, 935, VIX bounced on Wednesday. Okay, yeah, this is the one. Wednesday, 940. So VIX bounced. Okay. So my hope was VIX is gonna go and then reject, but VIX actually bounced. And this candle, huge red with impulse, actually started coming down. And that's where I stopped out. So this happens too. And I think some people were caught in this, they weren't able to get out, and some people bag held hoping that this is gonna turn around and go to the sky again. So my point even that day I made was, don't bag hold. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You get the hell out. You sell for a loss. That's it. I was able to actually, I know I posted, I sold at break even, but I was only able to lose like 10-20 cents per contract. Not much. Okay, questions now. Do you ever trade bear or bull flag setups? I look for, instead of a flag, I'm not a big flag guy. I'm a pennant guy. So I'll look for a bullish pennant. I'll show you one. It's not really bullish pennant or bearish pennant. I look for symmetrical triangle pennants. Flags. Let me show you example of a flag. That did not work today. There was more price action. 1 second. You guys see a bull flag forming before this candle? I'm not saying bull flags are bad or anything, but this is like you have. In my mind, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's making higher lows, and I was looking to buy the breakout of that basically. I don't draw these, but just in my mind, I know that there is a flag or a bullish pennant being formed, right? But this did not work. It actually closed below it. It came back and then that it actually ended up moving after hours. Okay. Do you always, yes, so Ghost, if I don't check Wix, right? Sometimes I don't, and then I've been burnt out sometimes. But the thing is, there was one exception in the whole month that we traded, only one trade I can think of. Wix went sideways and SPX moved like 30 points on the upside. I'm not sure how many people remember that. I remember that clearly because I was like dumbfounded. I was like, what the fuck's going on, right? So that happens too. So what that means is I missed some trades. Okay, yeah, I missed a trade. No problem. That's all I can say to tell myself, right? I missed a trade. Okay, next question. Okay, how many confirmation do you need to consider a trade? At least 3, 2, 3. So you're am I having that zone problem now? Oh, I deleted a zone, I guess, right? Yeah, let's go in here. So to answer VSNRY's question, I'm pretty sure something just happened with the zone. Okay, how do I refresh this? This is the problem you guys are having, right? Your zone's not showing here. It just happened to me. What the fuck? And this is how my trading view looks on the browser. Oh, it just came on. Maybe I deleted it. Okay, anyways, fuck it. So that question is, how many confirmations, right? So let's say, anyways, guys, there was a zone here. So we're getting a bounce on the zone, and we got like wicks projecting. And in my mind, sometimes, not in this case, I'm looking for trend. It's actually very easy to take calls on an uptrend. Let me show you an example. So because the market's been ranging, that's why you guys are like over trading and losing. Need a bigger trend. Yeah, so for example, something like this. So I'm on 15 minutes right now. So let's say you're here. So these are the previous highs, right? So these are your previous highs. So the highest high is like 4,000 approximately. So once you clear these, you're in an uptrend. Once you're in an uptrend, all you gotta do is every time the price comes, makes like a higher low or on the zone, for example, you watch the wick. So you have one confirmation bounce of the zone. You're in an uptrend. That's the second confirmation. Third confirmation is wicks is rejecting, and some other confirmations you can look for is that is Nasdaq bullish? What are Apple and Microsoft doing? Because SPX, Apple and Microsoft contain about 14% weightage in the SPX index, right? What are they doing? So that can be a fourth confirmation. So as many you have are good, right? But when you have uptrending and you're just buying calls on the dips, like there's nothing else like it. Easy peasy, right? Same thing with um, a downtrend as well. But let me show you something cool here, okay? Let's note the time, so we're gonna lose this. Okay, so this is April 4th at 6:45 a.m. Okay, so I'm gonna invert the scale. What do you see now? So if this was an up, would you buy calls here? How many people will buy calls here? How many people will buy calls here? This candle or next candle? I just inverted the scale. That's all I did. But doesn't it look easy to you? It came up, closed above, came back down, bounced off the zone. You buy calls. Yeah, with the confirmation from VIX, for sure. Good answer. But would you have shorted this? You see what's going on, right? I mean, look, price came up, it made a higher high, came back down, and then it tested this zone over here, rejected, and second candle rejected. Would you have bought puts here? Let's say VIX was bullish at this time. Exactly, that's like a pullback, right? Oh, how's it going, Savage? Long time no see. So would you have bought puts here on the second candle? But when I invert the scale, does it look clear to you? So this is inverted scale. So price came up, pull back. So the reason I'm doing that is because I think human nature or second nature to us is like people who are perma bulls, and majority of you guys are, including myself, we actually tend to buy calls easier than to buy puts, right? So price came up, retested, you buy calls and you go up, right? So what I'm trying to say is we need to do the same when we're shorting. We need to look for these opportunities. Sometimes I miss them too, I'm going to be honest with you, because my brain is wired as a perma bull. Okay. Okay. I hope the class has been helpful. Um, so what we discussed today was this, to summarize it. Every morning when you, let's say you open your laptop at 9, 9, 10, like 20 minutes before, prep, have a plan. What are you going to be trading today? When you have a plan, um, and if the price action does not fit the plan, you don't take the trade. You wait for the 9:45 candle. You wait for the 10 o'clock 15 minutes candle. You wait for 10:15, 10:30, and so on until if it's your plan. And if you think your initial plan was wrong, you switch sides. So for example, this morning my initial plan was to take puts, right? But it did not happen. So I switched sides. It's like, okay, exhaustion happened, let's look for calls. So hopefully that helped a lot. Before we go, any questions? Anyone wants to clear anything? Anything they're troubling with? Or I'm gonna stop the recording.